Hello everyone, it is MrCrayfish and today we are going to be creating the next update of the vehicle mod. If you've never heard of this mod, basically it adds in vehicles that you can fly, you can do farming, you can do all sorts of things. But I wanted to bring back this series in a brand new format. Now I mentioned that we are going to be creating this update, and what I mean by that is I'm going to be selecting one of your vehicle mod ideas to add into the mod today. However, that is not all this series is about. We are also going to be doing kind of normal development as well, because there are some features that I've wanted in this mod for a very long time but just haven't got around to. Now, which vehicle are we adding in today? Well, I asked you guys over on Twitter for your suggestions, and the one that I really liked actually comes from two different people, Hanoibus Gamer and Halo Master. I thought this idea fit perfectly into the vehicle mod and also coincides with some features that I'm going to be adding in today. Now, if you'd love to suggest a vehicle idea for next time, follow me on Twitter, as I'll be asking very soon for more vehicle mod ideas. However, it's that time. Let's start coding this brand new update. So the first stage of creating this update was to improve the vehicle physics. I couldn't tell you how many times I've actually rewrote the physics in this mod. Now, to explain it as easy as I can, the vehicles right now pivot from the center, whereas I want them to pivot from their rear axle, and this will change depending on the length of the vehicle and also the size. And it wasn't long until I had a working version. I think we know how this goes down. What the heck? There we go, guys. The perfect vehicle physics. We've done it. Clearly, some changes needed to be made, but this was actually turning out to be a little bit more complicated than I first expected. I was continuously running into even more problems, but finally, I figured it out. As you can see from here, the new physics feel a lot more fluid. Just by turning the steering wheel, the vehicle reacts completely different compared to the old physics. So instead of reversing in a straight line, your vehicle is actually doing a zigzag. It's also worth noting that you can actually now have rear wheel steering vehicles. So maybe in the future I'll be adding some rear wheel steering vehicles. We'll see. But now that's complete, it's time to start working on the vehicle. Let's go. Okay, so as suggested by the idea, we are adding in a minibus, and the first stage was to create the model. Now, I'm not going to explain every detail of the process, but I first found an image online which I used as a template to create a really basic shape. It doesn't really look like much now, but this is going to turn into a full 3D vehicle. Next, it was just a matter of extruding it out, improving the structure of it to actually look like a minibus, so adding a place for windows and also hollowing out the center so we can create an interior, adding details so the minibus has some character. And there we have it, the first iteration of the minibus. That was simple, right? But before continuing on and improving the model, I wanted to quickly add it into the game just to make sure everything was going good, because honestly, it looks a little bit more different in game. Alright, we just made the best vehicle ever. Alright, should be fixed up now. Where is it? Oh! Oh my god. Alright, we need to make some changes to the model, but we're also going to texture it as well. That is one thing that kind of makes this look weird. Now, there's not too much to explain with the texturing, however, this did take me quite some time. I think I spent 2 hours on this. But to give you guys a brief understanding, I basically made the car entirely white and gave it some grey side skirtings. The colour of vehicles are applied in the game and not on the actual model. The next step was to add in some details into the texture. However, halfway through texturing, I discovered I didn't add any windows, so I quickly added some windows to the model and then also gave them a texture. Finally, I added some more details to the side, such as adding door handles, and I also textured the interior seats. And that's it, it was ready to be added into the game. Alright, it's 3:30 AM. Let's give this a shot. I need some sleep, but we've finally got This brand new minibus working finally. Oh, I love this thing. But for real, I was actually really happy how the textures turned out. Even though they are quite simple, it actually looks really good on this vehicle, and I'm really excited to do more of these. However, it is not finished yet. There are still a couple more things I needed to do before I could say, hey, let's release this. The first being that the minibus doesn't have any sounds. So I want to create an original sound for the minibus that is completely different to all the other vehicles. The second being that only one player can get inside the minibus. They can't actually sit in the other seats. There are 5 seats in the minibus, so it should be able to have 5 occupants. Now, adding the sounds was quite straightforward. There wasn't really too much to it. It was just a matter of finding a nice engine sound and adding it into the mod. And this is what it ended up sounding like. So now the sounds are done, it is time to add support to the minibus so we can actually have 5 occupants. Right now in the vehicle mod, it is quite a tedious process to add more seats to a vehicle. However, today I'm going to be developing a brand new system which makes this a whole lot easier. Think of these red boxes as positions of seats that I can easily add to any vehicle. Having all that said, we were ready for the first test of this new system. Alright, well, I guess we go ahead and hop in the vehicle. It's sitting outside of it, what the what the heck? It turns out that I ran into a pretty big problem while implementing this system. I actually had to rewrite it all from scratch again and try a different method. So about another hour later and I had another working version, and this time it actually worked. Alright, I think I've fixed it up, and as you can see we are now sitting correctly at the front in the driver's seat. And now that I know the system is successfully working, I can add in the other seats. But I wasn't gonna stop there. I thought it would be a great idea if I was to press the key C on my keyboard, it would actually cycle through all the seats in the vehicle. So you don't actually have to be in the driver's seat. You could be sitting all the way in the back of the minivan. Or bus, sorry. So if I press C, we're now in the passenger seat. We're now in the middle here. And now we're all the way at the back of the van. Oh, this is amazing. I love this so much. What happens if I just keep going and like swap mid-drive? That's funny. Alright, so now that was working, I wanted to make it so when you actually right click on the vehicle, you'll be placed into the closest seat rather than automatically going into the driver's seat. This means you could go straight away into the back seat without having to cycle through all the seats in the vehicle. Alright, let's give this a shot. So depending on where I enter the vehicle from, we're going to be sitting in the closest seat. Alright, I fixed it up. Let's try it again here. So if I go to the driver's seat and I right click. Oh! Okay. That's a first test. Let's try the second one here. Let's try going to the back seat. Oh! It actually worked. So the seating system was now complete, and all that was left was to add a crafting recipe, which was quite easy. But I also quickly added support to the minibus so it could actually tow trailers. I lied, this was the final change. I actually improved the wheel model. So this is the original, and this is the brand new wheel, and honestly it makes it look a lot better because the wheel is not completely black anymore, it's actually grey. And done! The update is now complete. And that is going to end off this video today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, I'd appreciate if you could leave a like, subscribe if you would love to see more. This update to the vehicle mod is now available, so you can find a link in the description below. However, I will catch you guys soon for a new video. Bye!